Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. What a day it is. Now, remember I told you guys yesterday that I will not be doing a Wellness Wednesday show today. And that's simply because today is the official launch of the Caricom meeting. And there's been quite a lot of activity already today. And yeah, we have to talk about it because there have been protests and arrests and all other manner of stuff going on here in the Capitol today. And I'm expecting some guests to eventually make their way into the studio. Hopefully they will be logging in sooner than later because they are coming from a particular viewpoint as it relates to this whole question of Caricom and what they would like to see happen as a result of this meeting. So this is going to be a different type of Wednesday show. It won't be the typical Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday show that we normally do. I told you guys from yesterday that we were gonna do things a little differently today, and I'm just waiting for our guest to log in. But in the meantime, traffic was absolutely maddening today, and there's a reason for that. We were told that there would be road closures tomorrow, and everybody was anticipating that for tomorrow. But today, traffic was bumper to bumper in several areas here in the Capitol, to the degree where people were delayed for 2 hours. Some of them complained about, saying that they were caught up in traffic for 2 hours, couldn't get to work, couldn't get home, especially those who live in the western area of New Providence. And a lot of people were saying, I don't recall seeing any notification that there would be road closures today. So what's going on? People were frustrated. People were angry that, this was happening. And they figured there was no forewarning for it. And then we started to receive word that there was reason for this to be happening. some word came down that there was a security breach in one of the hotels where some high ranking officials are staying, that someone checked in under a false name. And when they said someone, they said a person's intent on disrupting the meeting, checked in under a false name, thereby creating a security breach. And this is what led officials to shut everything, make it more difficult to access certain areas. I'm going to play a video, and I will let you determine yourself, based on what is said in the video, what relation, if any, there is to the reports of there being a security breach within the hotel, justifying the traffic to be backed up the way it was. So here now is that video, and then we can talk about this whole Caricom meeting and what it means and the implications and etc. Okay, so here's a look at that video.
And so he said, well, this is Bahama property, and I showed him that I am a paying guest, and many of us are paying guests. Bahama. Many of us are paying guests of Bahama.
My friend, now you need to leave right now, sir.
Oh,
we bring that foster. You bring that foster.
We have freedom of movement. We have freedom of movement. It's our right. Be quiet. Be quiet. It's our fundamental right.
Be quiet. Hold on. Be quiet.
Hold on. Be quiet.
Let's find out. No. Let's find out. No. You need to talk to him. Sir. You need to speak to him.
Look here. No. What are you looking about? What is your kappa? What is your kappa?
He's a paying guest, a doctor. She's a paying guest. She's a paying guest. She's a paying guest. She's a paying guest.
What a good mistake. Take your crowd to Goodman Bay, and you're going to have your peaceful protest. Let's have to go.
Okay, so as you could see, the person of interest in that video is with Mr. Lincoln Bain, who, from all appearances, was arrested, and from reports that we have received, was arrested. And apparently, he and others had checked into Bahama, which you would have heard in the video. And several of the persons who were with his group who came out to protest were redirected to go to Goodman's Bay, and they went to Goodman's Bay, and they were subsequently arrested while on Goodman's Bay. So just sending a message to my guests asking them to please log on. So I hope that people hear more throughout the course of the day as to what charges, if any, were brought against Mr. Bain and his supporters, and why that was considered to be the fact that they had checked into the hotel. And I have no evidence whether or not they checked in under false names, as was suggested in a chat group that I'm in, or whether they just checked in as themselves. But why that was considered a security breach. Now, Mr. Bain didn't hide the fact that he and his group were going to protest today because their stance is that the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Mr. Philip Ray Davis, does not speak for them when he says that the Bahamas believes that the solution is to help Haiti, because their attitude is you need to help your people here at home before you're talking about helping Haiti. And so they made it very clear that they would be protesting today. But we see where their efforts were significantly hindered by the fact that many of their people were arrested today, or at least detained. This is obviously a developing story. I'm sure that details will emerge as the day progresses. Keep in mind that this is a very high-profile event at which leaders from several nations are in attendance. And word is that there have been threats not just against our prime minister, but other leaders of nations who are here in the Bahamas attending this event. And so the authorities have decided to make sure that there is no issue taking place on Bahamian soil that could bring about disrepute to the country because of security breaches. So it'll be interesting to see and hear throughout the course of the day what comes out of this. Several persons, like I said, were arrested based on live videos that they would have been streaming from the protest site. We saw where they were moved multiple times and told, you can't be here, so go to this place. And then you can't be here, go to that place. And eventually they were directed to Goodman's Bay. And then based on at least one live video stream that I saw, so when the police bus pulled up and the persons on Goodman's Bay started to be arrested, and persons who were recording, some of them, the recordings ended abruptly. So I'm assuming that they too were taken into custody. Now, why is this important? You know, one of the signs of a healthy democracy is the people's freedom to speak out. And I am in no way suggesting that persons should be allowed to disrupt important meetings or make threats of any kind. And I'm not saying that those who were arrested today were guilty of that. I'm not saying that. So please don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Obviously, the police have a job to do. National security is heightened no matter where you go in the world when you have high-profile leaders in one place. That's just the way it is, because in the world that we live in today, you have to be concerned about security issues. And you can't take things for granted to say, oh, Bahamian people, you know, they ain't gonna do nothing. That's not who we are. Well, the challenge is you got a bunch of people in this country now who we don't know who they are. And we don't know what their way of thinking is. We don't know what their mindset is. So you can't take for granted that, those kinds of things don't happen here in the Bahamas. We don't do that here in the Bahamas. No, you have to take these things seriously. So it's not surprising to me that the authorities have made decisions. It's just unfortunate that so many Bahamians here in New Providence were really what's the word I'm looking for? They were frustrated, couldn't get to work, couldn't get home because of these measures that were taken supposedly as a result of a security breach. So I'm not saying that we as a people should not have the right to protest. One of the issues that I had with the Minnis administration was that administration's efforts to clamp down on people who tried to protest against what was happening then. And I don't believe it was right then, and I don't believe it's right now. I believe that a sign of a healthy democracy is to allow people to express their views. Do you have security in place? Yes. Do you have police presence there? Yes. To make sure things don't get out of hand? Yes. If need be, you search people who want to be a part of the protest and make sure nobody is carrying any hidden weapons or anything like that. I think that's justifiable. In this day and age in which we live, that is justifiable. To say, okay, you can protest, but we have to search you to make sure you're not carrying any weapons. Even to sweep areas where you direct people to go who are protesting to make sure that nobody went there ahead of time and planted any weapons there that they could possibly use in some kind of attack. But to outright deny people their right to protest is not a good look, I dare say, for a democracy. It's not a good look. And yes, I know it's all about the reputation and you want to look good. And, the Bahamas is hosting this event and we got to make sure we, put our best foot forward. I get all of that. But we have to be very, very careful, I think, especially in this day and age of social media, how we handle such situations. Because it could give off the wrong impression and make one believe that freedom of speech is non-existent in the country. So again, this is a developing story. I'm sure we're going to hear more about it throughout the day, and as the news agencies report on their news product this evening, I'm sure we'll hear more about it. But I just think that we need to be very careful of the message that we're sending to the world as it relates to the health of our democracy. We have JT on the line. JT, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. My first question having to do with the traffic. How far was the traffic backed up this morning because of the closure of the roads in that area? Do you know?
I don't know how far. I just know that people complained of sitting in traffic for up to 2 hours. One person said it took them to get to work. 2 hours.
Yeah, that is definitely expensive.
It went for a long way, bumper to bumper, just not moving.
Okay. Now, I support what you said in respect to the police doing their job to keep the country safe, to keep dignitaries in the country safe, to keep our political leaders safe, to keep the society at large safe. I support all of that, and I think any right-thinking Bahamian would support those things. However, with the constitution of our country as a backdrop to all of this, we have the freedom of assembly, and we have the freedom of expression. Have you and Sidney Thompson yet reached those clauses or those articles in the Constitution?
I believe we have. I'm not sure because he often talks about it. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I think the first two chapters dealt with citizenship.
Right.
So we may not have come to it as yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the thing that I appreciate and that does concern me too is that while security must be what it must be in events like this. The question must always be asked, is the police infringing on the genuine, pure, straightforward, face value rights of one's constitution? I mean, rights that's provided by the Constitution. That Bahamas is obviously a private property. So no one has the right to publicly go on that property, or the public doesn't have the right to go on that property and demonstrate per se. But the thing that I'm a little perplexed about, and I certainly would hope your guest will be able to speak to this, is was Lincoln Bain and his associates registered under their own name? Because
I'm not
heard
sure. I'm hearing, and I don't know how, I can't verify this one way or the other, but I'm hearing that they registered under
assumed names.
under other names. Yes.
Okay.
Now, I can't say that that is true or not true one way or the other. That's
Right,
just
right.
out there right now.
So because when I heard Lincoln say, and I heard somebody else say, we are guests of Bahamas.
Right.
Now, does the register, should I suppose the police will be looking at this if they haven't already done so? Will the register show whether or not their names are in the system as guests of Bahamas? And tell me, what if their names are registered in Bahamas books as guests there? What rights might there have been that was infringed on by the police? Do you have any idea?
What do you mean?
Paying guests and registered under their own names. Were any of their rights violated? I'm just curious to know.
Well, I mean, I suppose you would need a legal mind to answer that question.
Yeah,
but I'm thinking that if a person is considered to be a threat to national security on such an event, you could register as much as you want to register. If the law views you as a threat to national security, then I think they are within reason to do what they need to do.
Yes, I agree. So my question is then on that point, Michelle, have you heard what the threat would have been? Because I didn't hear anything in that clip as to what the threat was. Did you?
Which threat you talking about now?
Whatever threat to national security Lincoln Bain was arrested for, what threat was it that they posed?
I cannot answer that because I'm not a part of law enforcement, but I do know that you will recall that the last protest that they had on Bay Street, someone within the crowd, now Lincoln said it was not any of his people, but someone within that crowd shouted something about the Prime Minister Davis needing someone to assassinate him.
Yeah, I kind of, when you played that clip before, I heard that in the background.
Right.
Something to that effect, yeah.
Now Lincoln is saying that that person was not one of his supporters, but the person was a part of the group that was out there protesting.
Exactly.
So the police, the national security agents could argue that perhaps there's somebody within this group or affiliated with this group who may pose a threat. Now, from what I'm hearing, there were death threats sent not just to our prime minister, but death threats made with towards other leaders who are attending this meeting as well. So it seems that there is, and I'm not putting this at the feet of Lincoln and his supporters, but it seems that there is some kind of effort to be disruptive to this meeting. So with that in mind, I can't say that that the police were not within reason. I can't say that. And again, I'm not
saying that either, Michelle. I was only asking questions out of genuine curiosity to find out how, what are all of the points of concern that's out there. Because I mean, I don't want to see our government officials nor any of the visiting government officials be in harm's way. That wouldn't be good for us as a people. That wouldn't be good for us. Not at all. But
somebody on Facebook, Anishka, is saying, caller, there was no threat. All of this is a lie. All lies. Well, maybe Anishka has more information than you and I.
She could probably, yeah. You see, I think, Michelle, this is why, and I thank you, Anishka, for that response. See, this is what brings me to the question. If there truly was a genuine national security threat, I can understand the police stepping in and doing what they do. Or after they will have investigated and find out that the threat was genuine, I say, okay, more power to the police. But to say that there was a national security threat and just leave that hanging without letting the public know what the suspected or alleged nature of that threat might have been is what I'm asking about and what I'm concerned to know. Because a threat could be anything. I mean, a threat is a threat, but the nature of that threat could be anything. And so I'd like for the police to really give an account to we, the paying people who pay their salaries, as to what it is. If there was a genuine threat, then they were in their rights to arrest whomever they arrested. But for heaven's sake, let the public know what the nature of the threat was. And then again,
towards that, NJT, I don't know that they would necessarily think that that's a good idea. If something is if there's, and I'm not saying that this is the case here, but I'm just speaking in general terms. If there's something that they're investigating or some kind of sting operation going on, they're not going to put all that information out there. Whereas we as a public would like to know, I don't think that they pretty much have to say, this is what, our investigation. I don't know. I don't think that that's something that the police has to do if it's an active investigation.
Yeah. Because like in the United States, for example, and the United States is obviously much more advanced than we are, but I'm just using them as an example. If there's any kind of a threat, a fire threat, a bomb threat, some kind of terrorist threat that is found in anywhere in the United States, in virtually no time, the public has an idea as to what the nature of the threat is. And of course, again, we are different in the models. We are not as well versed or as willing and prepared to express those things. And I can understand sometimes you gotta keep certain things under wraps. I get that part.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what my concern is, why I'm really asking this. Last administration, the DNA, in my humble opinion, was harassed by the administration because constantly they were being threatened with threats, with accusations or allegations of threats against government officials or the police or whatever have you. And from all indications, and I stand to be corrected, but from what I understood, there was no foundation ever found out for the police to have arrested or brought charges against the DNA 3 weeks after alleged threats would have been made against whomever.
Yeah. I remember talking about that on the air, and they weren't the only ones. I remember Adrian Francis and his group were harassed as well. And I remember saying on the air that you were going to arrest Kumalafi and her people 3 weeks later by claiming that they injured a police officer and tried to overrun the assembly.
Right.
And it took you a whole 3 weeks to arrest these people. So you need to resign because clearly you weren't doing your job. Because we're talking about overrunning Parliament, which has happened in the Caribbean before, where in Trinidad and Tobago, these fellas tried to take over Parliament, and someone actually lost their life in that attempt. That's a serious thing. So you're talking about somebody trying to overrun Parliament, injuring a police officer, and you let them walk around for 3 weeks before you go to clearly that was Trump charges. Clearly.
The police wasn't doing their job, all those charges were just to be trumped up.
Exactly.
And See, Michelle, those examples you just cited, including this one today. Now, let me be very careful in saying this. If there is any foundation that there was indeed a valid threat, then whoever made the threat was wrong. Okay? But at face value, if there was no threat after all of this is said and done, and persons were just being harassed because they were being uncomfortably situated next to that event, with all of the examples we just talked about, including this one, Michelle, like you, I too am beginning to become concerned, because if the Constitution of our country gives you and I the right to assembly and the right to the freedom of expression, of course we must do it lawfully. But if we have those rights, and the law cannot give you and I justifications for them impinging upon yours and my rights, then we are heading, like you said, down a very wrong, a very disturbing path.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we are supposed to be governed by rules, the law, the rule of law. We are supposed to be. But so that rule of law also applies to the police. That rule of law also applies to the government officials. No police officer, no government official has the right, just because they may be sitting in the seat of authority, to violate the right of a citizen without just cause.
Yeah.
And when that starts happening, one needs to stand up and push back and say, Mr. Government, Mr. Police Officer, you're wrong. Because if one doesn't stand up and assert their constitutional rights when those rights are being violated, those rights will be eroded. Now, might any of your guests today be an attorney coming on?
Say that again?
Any of your guests today, might they be an attorney? Because I would really like it, one of them, if they are an attorney.
No, they're coming from a completely different angle. I'm just starting with this because I'm waiting for them to sign on. I don't know why they're not on us yet, because they were supposed to be up from 2:00. So, but I've just started with this, in the interest of, waiting for my guests to get on, because we're supposed to be going in a completely different direction today.
Understood.
But I'm not sure what's happening with them. They're not on us yet, and they're not responding.
And to end on this note, this Caricom meeting, this is to be dealing just with climate change, or this is dealing with a number of issues?
Well, a number of issues, but the hot button issues are climate change, and obviously the situation in Haiti, and the challenge that several Caribbean states are facing as it relates to this influx of irregular migrants, or illegal immigrants, or whatever you want to call them, from Haiti. Because the Bahamas is not the only country dealing with this problem. TCI also had Turks and Caicos.
Which are the others other than the two of us?
I'm not sure that there are others who are experiencing it to the degree that we are.
Yeah.
When you consider that most of the people who are fleeing Haiti really want to make it to America, then it just makes sense that our two countries will be the two paths which they pass through to get to America. So I'm not sure that any other country in the region is experiencing it to the degree that we are. They're not going to want to go to Cuba because people are trying to get out of Cuba.
Exactly. And
so it's just that our two countries just happen to be in the pathway
of
their ultimate destination, which is the United States.
Geography is a liability to us in situations like that.
Say that again?
I'm saying in situations where you have people fleeing their homeland, such as the cases with Haiti, that is when our geography is a liability to us.
Right. Exactly. It's just shared geography. The fact that they're trying to make it to America, and they gotta, in most cases, come from
or come into the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And Michelle, I don't know. I want this event to be a peaceful one. I don't want any kind of security issues to be out there. But oh man, what a world we live in today, huh?
Yeah.
50 years.
Like I said, my thing is this: peaceful protests are a sign of a healthy democracy.
Indeed, yeah.
Anywhere you go in the world where there is a healthy democracy, people are free to protest.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to protest against. They have to do so within the law.
Yeah, exactly.
But they have the freedom. That's a sign of a healthy democracy. And I don't know how we've gotten to the place where all of a sudden we are trying to stop people from having an open expression of. I just don't know where this mindset comes from, that you have to stop people from protesting because it doesn't fit in with your narrative. I don't know where this came from, but that is a sign of a healthy democracy.
Either those who are prohibiting the healthy process either don't know the constitution of the country, or they are ignoring the constitution of the country if they know it. And either of those scenarios, to me, is a danger sign, because the Constitution being the supreme law of the land, no one has the right to violate it. I don't care what seat of authority they sit in, Michelle. We're all governed by it.
Yeah.
The police force couldn't be established without the Constitution. The Prime Minister couldn't be the Prime Minister without the Constitution. So if all of those authorities and positions are provided for by the Constitution, then those very positions ought to be always guided by and give honor and respect to the Constitution.
Right.
And anyway, madam, we can talk, but I hope this event turns out well, and that Lincoln Bain, those are truly not guilty of any security breach. And of course, like the saying goes, if they are guilty, then the chips will fall where the chips will fall.
All right.
God bless you.
Thanks for calling. Okay, so before I go to the break, let me read a couple of comments from Facebook. So Aniska says the only disruption came from the police. They hindered Bahamians from exercising their rights of freedom of speech and freedom to gather peacefully. And then we have a comment coming in from Elizabeth Martin, who says there has to be a safer Bahamas for the organic Bahamians because the safety of the Bahamas borders have been compromised. D'Amico is saying a Gestapo state. Hitler did the same thing, silenced all of his political opponents. The constitutional rights of Bahamian people were blatantly trampled upon. This is all D'Amico speaking. No police officer has to obey an unlawful order. And finally, D'Amico says blatant suppression of freedom of speech and expression. Yeah. Oh, like I said, I watched a couple of the live videos, and it would be interesting to hear what charges are being brought, because from what I saw, I didn't see any laws being broken. But that's just what I saw. So it would be interesting to hear what charges, if any, are brought against the persons who were arrested today. But again, I believe that protest is a sign of a very healthy democracy, and our leaders need to understand that you don't have to clamp down on people protesting. I think that that's a bad sign. It's not a good look. And I don't know where this mentality came from, but I think you'll need to seriously revisit it. Now, again, I am not a police officer. I don't know, maybe they have some information that we are not privy to. I cannot say one way or the other. But what I am saying is that we need not suppress protests for the sake of suppression because we think it'll make us look bad. No, I think it'll make us look good. the fact that we give people the freedom to openly express their views, whether or not those views are in alignment with ours. That's a sign of a healthy democracy. So Shanika says they do not want Bahamians to open their mouths about anything that concerns them. Well, okay, we have to take a break. I'm not sure what's going on with my guests today, y'all. They should have been here from 2 o'clock, and I'm hoping they show up. If not, I guess it's just you and I today. But let's take this break. And when we come back, we'll continue to talk about what is happening today. Caricom meeting actually kicks off tonight, this evening, and some of the issues that are going to be discussed. Stay with us. This is GPS on Global 99.5 FM.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. We are streaming live on Facebook on the Global 99.5 FM official page, as well as the official Michelle Malcolm page. The telephone numbers to call 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages only 801-0271. 801-0271, and we are streaming, airing on Cable Bahamas channel 974 as well. So however you get here if you can. Make sure you like and share the show and let everyone know that GPS is on the air. Now, I personally made the decision today to do my show from home, because when I started hearing about all of these long delays from several areas here in the capital, I said, you know something? Before I try to get to that station and I get stuck in traffic, let me just do the show from home today. And if this is how it's going to be during the course of this meeting, perhaps employers whose workers can work from home, which we know during the pandemic, it was proven that a lot of people could work from home. Maybe you should give people the choice to work from home until after this conference is over. If this kind of thing is what we're going to see during the during the next couple of days. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Ms. Malcolm.
Hi.
With regards to the protesting, do we actually need permission from the commissioner or not?
You don't need permission to protest, but you do need, let me see how it goes, and I want to get it right. You're supposed to advise them that you would like to protest so that they can provide security measures, but that's not the same thing as getting permission to protest. It's kind of a thin line, and it seems that as of late, the police are treating it as if you have to get permission from them to protest. But I think you have to inform them that you would like to protest, and I believe that the acknowledgement is that, okay, we have to ensure that there's sufficient security in place for this protest to happen. But I don't believe that our Constitution says that you have to have permission to protest. But if you don't know what the Constitution says, then, I remember Fontella Chipman Dean being arrested downtown. One person, one person was protesting downtown, and they arrested her for illegal, what did they say it was? Illegal assembly. And it's like, how could one person be guilty of illegal assembly? You're talking one person. So when you're talking about assembly, you need at least two people. But they arrested her to say it was illegal assembly. So, yeah.
Okay, I think that needs to be cleared up for the Bahamian people, because I always thought maybe I heard it somewhere, you have to write a police commissioner and they would give you permission as to whether you could protest or not. But if what you're saying is correct, I think the masses of the population need to know, because I was first assuming that, well, maybe Mr. Jane and his supporters did not get permission. I thought maybe that's one of the reasons why they were arrested or taken away. But Ms. Malcolm, that what's going on Cable Beach, it's a whole other ball game. We have to look at security measures. We have leaders from around the Caribbean, even the Prime Minister of Canada, and delegates from the United States.
Yeah.
Now, the Bahamians are normally peaceful people. But where somebody is leaders coming from, I could say, I think you would agree, some of those places are not as peaceful as the Bahamas or peaceful at all for that matter. I think that the Haitian president is also here. And it must be a concern that we have to protect these people, because I wouldn't want one of them to be hurt or any kind of threat or whatever. Something happened to them while they're in the Bahamas.
Yeah, that would not be a good look. But we can't even only.
I really support the immense right to protest.
Right. But we can't, just a second, caller. We can't just even put that at the feet of say, oh, we don't know what the Haitians are going to do. Listen, there could be somebody from one of the countries whose leader is here who has a beef with that leader and figure, maybe I could go to the Bahamas to try something where the security may not be as tight as it is here in my own country. So you can't assume that nothing would happen. You just can't. And in this world that we live in today, you cannot assume. You can't assume that nothing could happen. You just can't.
Exactly. So I understand the measures the police are taking. I don't agree with all their methods, but with what's going on around the world today, security is very important, and it needs to be heightened. Now, I've been to some protests before, and I've learned at a young age that everybody in the mob, so to speak, or the group, we don't have the same agenda. Some of us hide behind, say, one agenda, but each of us have our own personal agenda, and there, Ms. Malcolm, is always an extremist end to any particular group. I heard of your show where you played the clip. Like somebody said, "Man, we need to stop it here." Now the leader, Mr. Beard, might not have been subscribing to that, but somebody extreme in the group actually said it.
Yeah.
My point is, you cannot take a chance with all these leaders here that everybody in the group calls.
Right.
Because some people like to go to the extreme. Even, I don't know if you can remember when the airport was supposed to get this test, international group come to see if we were equipped to handle some type of security measure. All the security people say, "Oh, why do you think that day?" Because we making these decisions, Ms. Malcolm, on emotion and these tempers, and normally when you make a decision, when you want it all riled up, it tends not to be a good one. And I believe in protest, and let us protest all they want when these people go home, but I don't think right now is a good time for the protesters, because we can't control them all. Mr. Lincoln Bay cannot control everybody in his group. And I feel like Mr. Bay is missing the mark, because the message he carries, I kind of like it, but the package he wrapped in, the package turning you off, and so you really can't receive the message. If you want to make a change on the F&M and the PLC, you have to send your message for the whole massive, because politics is about numbers. You and your group cannot change the government. They already been through a couple of elections, and you see that. So you have to give your message to the masses. You have to change the packaging within that message. I appreciate you taking my call, but I just feel like we making so much heated decisions or emotions that they ain't coming out right. They ain't coming out. Thank you for taking it.
Thank you so much for calling. Listen, man, y'all know I'm involved in pageantry, right? Even international pageants put so much emphasis on security, because those young ladies competing from all over the world, they are in essence ambassadors for their country. And so, for instance, when a young lady goes off to compete in those major pageants, they will tell you that once she lands in that country, You could afford to have traveled on that plane with her. You could be her ma. You could be, once she lands in that country, she becomes the responsibility of the organization. So you no longer have access to her. I'm telling you, it's that serious. You can't just go to her room. They even screen the calls that come in through the hotels. If you call and you want to speak to Miss Bahamas, they ask you all kind of questions. That's how seriously they take security, and that's just a beauty pageant. So imagine when you're talking heads of government. Security is a serious thing. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS. Caller, you still there?
Yes.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I called the pushback. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we're listening.
Yes, I say what they did, that's to me not only unlawful. Yes, I think that's unlawful because I feel that you do have a right to protest. And if I hear what the next caller say, if you have, not only that, he was saying that they was going to protest like a week in advance, but you could tell it was going out whenever you hear them go live or whatever the case may be. So let's just say the person who in charge of security, essentially saying if it's a security or whatnot, they should know that these, the individuals can show up to protest. So I think if you're looking at security, yes, it's important for the international people to have their security, but then you should know that, okay, you could have put up a barrier, you know what I mean, and have 1 or 2 or 3 police out there to basically guide whatever was going on. But if you look at the posture of how Mr. Bean then went out there, even if you take out the I like him or not out of it, just look at the rights that he has as a human citizen. You know what I'm saying? And you should allow him, like what you say, that's a show of growth in the country. When somebody speaking other than the left or right, which is PLP or FNM, why can another group go there and have their say, regardless of how you looking at how the country looks? Let me show you the reverse effect could be at that. Because let's just say if international news get that, you're talking about nothing bad. If international news get that, what would you think they would say against the government of the Bahamas? That you didn't let people, you know what I mean, speak whatever it is they have to speak.
Yeah.
Because you know what you did, you shut down democracy. So what it is you hide. Yeah, there's a lot of things you pour into that fire. You know, there's a lot of things that put in the fire where you take a member that was opposing you and shut him down altogether.
Yeah.
So I don't think that had nothing to do with security. So that guy was totally, to me, off. That had nothing to do with security because they were like they just show up there. It wasn't organized, it was not. They had whoever was supplying the security, they had time to know that, okay, Mr. Bean and his crew was showing up. And if you look at how they show up, that didn't even look like a protest. You know what I mean? I guess because they didn't give them the opportunity to say what they have to say. Now, ask yourself, from the Bahamas, where we call ourselves a democracy and we like to use the word rules and law, where did that play into anything that happened today? And every great leader, even if you look at Malcolm X, how did he lead? And let's go with the one who we celebrate every year. Who that is?
Martin Luther King Jr.
Thank you. And what did he do? What did he do?
Protest.
Thank you. He had the freedom, and then you see what they did against him. And did that stop his movement? That didn't stop his movement. So, they got to be careful of, and the police, I also say leaders, they have to read that thing, what they all call our Bible. The thing that governed this land before they start to govern people, because you can't make up rules as you go. You can't. And today, hate him or love him, everybody could agree. You're in the world of seeing what's going on. You have a right to the masses, to the people who listen to you, to spot British writers was wrong. Now, I can see what newscasters say, papers say against that. And this ain't about hating or loving the man. This is about what your duty is as a journalist to speak the truth. Now, if I could take a behind journalist to right or left, let's say in the PLP or the FNM or whoever Mr. Lincoln doing group of those, this is all about it. Because I don't know things like that. But you're trying to tell me I cannot go if I see the government doing something. Even like you said, it's my one. I can't go there and say, okay, you wrong. I can't go there. And the thing that troubles me is, you're the leader of the police community. Did you see how they behave? Even if you only see it, whenever you get a chance, look at how they behave. You cannot, to me, as a society, as a community, and whatnot, these people got to learn the Constitution, like what you all have been preaching, or you need to bring on some lawyers and challenge them if they know the Constitution. Because I feel deep down inside somebody should be on your show now and making noise like something great happened. Because today something big happened. Something that can't fly against on our radar. Something big happened. And you all need to bring that to light. The people who have voices like who we listening to, bring that to light. And please, this is not about who like the man and who don't like the man. It's about a rule being broken. And I'm telling you, you can hear international news pick up on that. And how they can put that is, okay, they silence the people.
Yeah, by the time they put their spin on that, it ain't gonna be pretty.
That's all I'm trying to. I will leave you with that. Use a smart woman. I leave you with that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for calling. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for text messages only 8010271. Now I home today, so I know if I can be able to get those text messages that you send via WhatsApp unless my producer forwards them to my phone. But definitely the numbers to call 3260271 or 3260272, or you can go ahead and put a comment on Facebook and we'll try to get through as many of them as we can. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, I don't know what happened to my guests today, y'all. They ain't show up yet. They ain't responded to none of my messages, so I guess I've been stood up. I don't know what to make of this. But anyway, I'm sure that you guys have a lot to say about what's going down today. So let's talk about it. And then if they show up, great. If they don't, then it's just you and me today. We're going to take a break and we'll be back after these words from our sponsors. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paint, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Global 99.5 FM page, as well as the official Michelle Malcolm page. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line, 8010271. We're also streaming live or broadcasting live on channel 974 on Cable Bahamas. So the Caricom heads of government meeting kicks off this evening. The official ceremony slated for Atlantis, I believe, this evening. We have several leaders from around the region who are here to discuss matters of concern to the region, as well as I believe John Kerry is here from the United States, and Prime Minister Trudeau from Canada are here to meet with the leaders of the region to discuss matters that are of concern. Top of the list probably is is the situation in Haiti and how to resolve that. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Can I talk about this thing? Then I lose a job. What can you give me a job?
Say that again. Caller? Did we lose that call, Jason? Okay, I'm not hearing the caller anymore. So we may have lost that caller. Yes, we lost that caller. Okay. In the meantime, let me go ahead and read a couple of your comments. So this comment is coming in from Dwayne Ferguson. Dwayne says, today I am embarrassed to be a citizen of the Bahamas for the first time in 56 years of my life. The treatment of female protesters being manhandled by police cronies and punched in the mouth. This is totally unacceptable behavior from the police and the PLP elected officials, and an abuse of our democracy that has now become an international disgrace. Now, I personally didn't see any video of any female being punched in the mouth, but I wasn't out there, so I couldn't say one way or the other whether or not that did in fact happen. We have JT on the line again. JT, welcome back to the show.
Michelle, I just wanted to, I wish I could read the Constitution literally, but unfortunately I can't. But I believe it's Article 24 that speaks to our right to the freedom of assembly and freedom of expression. So if you have it, Andy or anybody else can look it up online. Those would be the articles, particularly the last two callers who were questioning that our rights right to protest before the break. Then they want to look up the Article 24 of the Constitution. I should be able to give them the answer.
All right, I'll try to get it up on my phone before the end of the show, and then I'll go ahead and once I find it, because I have so many documents on my phone, I usually try to search ahead of time when I'm dealing with the Constitution. Okay, I found it. So I will go ahead and open this up and then take a look at that. Okay, in the meantime, let's continue with the comments on Facebook. Shanika says, I would forfeit my vote before I ever vote for the FNM or the PLP. Dwayne says, I suspect that this move is greater than Lincoln Bain. It's the people of the Bahamas saying enough is enough. Shanika is asking for the number to call. Shanika, I already gave those numbers, 3260271 or 2. And we also see a comment coming in from Aniska, who says, innocent young man also got arrested today on the road walking towards the Cable Beach area. There were quite a number of live videos being broadcast from protesters. So there were a couple of them where you saw them being taken into custody. So I know that people were, in fact, taken into custody. Whether or not they were charged with anything or just questioned or detained, I do not know. Okay, so here's what Article 24 of the Constitution says. Let me see if I can turn this around so it can make it bigger. It says, except with his consent, no person shall be hindered in the employment of his freedom of peaceful assembly and association. That is to say, his right to assemble freely and associate with other persons, and in particular to form or belong to political parties, or to form or belong to trade unions or other associations for the protection of his interests. That's 24.1. And 24.2 says, nothing contained in or done under the authority of any law shall be held to be inconsistent with or in contravention of this article to the extent that the law in question makes provision A, which is reasonably required, 1, in the interest of defense, public safety, public order, public morality, or public health, or 2, the purpose of protecting the rights and freedoms of other persons, or B, which imposes restrictions upon persons holding office under the Crown or upon members of a disciplined force, and except so far as the provision, or as the case may be, the thing done under the authority thereof is shown not to be reasonably justifiable in a democratic society. We need the professor to call in and break that down for us. I think we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good day, Lady Malcolm. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I if I could say a word, I'm Peter. From what I saw coming in, my daughter was streaming it live. And the thing about it was, what really, really ticked me off, Lincoln Bain was not shouting. Lincoln Bain had his back basically turned to the officers talking to his supporters and the people on the sidewalk. He wasn't even paying no attention. And up comes this policeman, this inspector, basically from an angle behind him. And of course, Mr. Bain. Everybody asked him, was asking the officer, what is he being arrested for? Even the crowd, the crowd get it irate. So Lincoln Bain maintained his calm. That's the thing about it. Mr. Lady Michael, really so stupid. Really so stupid. With that kind of audience down there from around the world, Caribbean, and all about in the Americas and stuff like that, don't they know to deny a person the right to protest, that the persons in that seminar will look at that more closely. When you deny people their rights, that if you try to silence them, don't know officials or police officers know that.
I mean, here's the thing. This ain't like back in the day where you could shut something down and nobody sees it or knows about it. I mean, with social media, with live streaming, you can't contain that.
Exactly.
You can't. Yeah, so it to me, it's counterproductive to deny someone the right to protest, because you know it can get out. People streaming live now. Everybody got a camera on their phone. So social media, pardon me?
There's so many police officers who so obviously don't know that. They come from, or they just don't care.
I don't know what to tell you. My position is that it's a bad look, that a healthy part of democracy is allowing people to have their say and protest within the reason of the law. And I think it's a really bad look when you try to clamp down on that. It's not a good sign of your democratic health in your nation.
Be surprised if that don't air on CNN or one of them things, ladies.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would not be surprised. Anyway, thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, thanks for calling. The telephone number is to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. Those are the numbers to call. Let's take a look at some more of your comments. Obviously, my guests stood me up today, so it don't look like they can make it. I mean, it's already 3:16, and I haven't heard from them. So Aniska is saying the protesters were definitely hindered today. We have another comment coming in from Shamika, who says, these people do not care about our constitutional rights. Aniska says, we were denied our rights to protest today. Shamika says, they came and made trouble. Then when you stand up for yourself, they say that you are resisting arrest. What a joke. Stanley Johnson says, Michelle, I hope when the PM send the police officers to Haiti, it'd be the same officers who lock up Lincoln and the rest of them people. And when they reach Haiti, they have the same energy they had today. And Shanika says, camera, they try to knock your phone out of your hand. All right. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello. Good afternoon, Ms. Malcolm.
Hi.
Hi. Listen, we have issues in the Bahamas, in this Commonwealth, but our issues in the U.S. are the charging issues. We have
Jason, just a second, caller. Just a second. Jason, for some reason, the call, the volume dropped. I don't know what changed, but can you turn up the volume of the caller, please? Because I could hear them at the beginning, but all of a sudden their volume dropped. Okay, go ahead and speak for me.
Okay, guys, Michelle, listen, what we saying, we have the head of Caricom here now, what we doing now is, we don't have the issues the rest of the charging now. Our issues is mainly immigration and one or two in-house problems. What's happening now is, with us right now, we have everybody here, but we don't need it to be whereby Lincoln Day and them, we can make a big stink like there's a big issue here in the Commonwealth or the Bahamas. So they could take it easy, but they're looking to make a statement. But all of us are just together, when they make a stink, they're killing everybody in the Commonwealth, they match up everybody in the Commonwealth Bahamas. So they know big deal, Lincoln Day and them could take it easy. We could use our thing in-house. But they're trying to match up the Bahamas, man. They ain't part of the Bahamas. Come on, man. There's the part of the Bahamas. They could take it easy. There's a time and place for everything.
So you're saying that they shouldn't exercise their right to protest because we have this international event going on?
That's the negative, Ms. Malcolm. What I'm saying is there's a time and place for every single thing. There's a time and place. There's a time and place. All they need to do is just deal with what they need to deal with. Do not make an in-house issue an international issue. You don't have to even explain the Bahamas to go other places them and people are trying to listen. Only thing I'm saying the Bahamas coming on in the US or Canada or Haiti or Jamaica, the Bahamas, so we don't want that. It's the time and place for everything, man. Come on, man.
But somebody may argue, caller, somebody may argue that the perfect time and place to protest is when you have an international event on your shores.
Madam, what we need to do is keep a cool head because we're doing better than plenty Caribbean countries do. Check it out.
I don't understand the point that you're making. Are you still there?
No.
I think we lost him, Jason. Did we lose him? Here's the thing. If I'm trying to bring attention to a particular issue, you may say, well, this ain't the time to do that because you've got all these international people here. My argument would be that's the perfect time to do this because you got all these international people here. And my voice will be more heard because you have all these international people here. It's not to say to try to embarrass the country. Are you back on the line, caller? Caller, are you there? No. Okay. So, yes, I'm here.
Ms. Malcolm, I got to call back.
Okay.
I ain't see how everybody got a right to speak. But that person just now is a total idiot. What are you talking about keep in house? Why he think all them Caribbean countries in America and even the Zelensky country under fire over there with Russia? Why he think all them people in out there? Huh? He think this problem is hidden? What an idiot. Thanks.
Thank you for calling. I have a comment on Facebook that says, I'm tired of being tired. I feel helpless because the people that should be protecting me and my rights are the one trampling on them. Who is policing the police? No one. This is why our country is in trouble. Another person says, this ain't making no sense. Stanron says, it's the perfect time. Rose says, he don't have a point. Brenda Lee says, calls is okay for lobby George. Luby, I guess you meant to say. Caller, is it okay for Luby George to go to the United Nations and talk about the Bahamian people? All right. Another texter says he needs to stop talking mess. People protest as they feel fit. Then we have another comment that says it's people like him that call why our country is like this. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Madam.
Yes.
I got call. Listen, let me tell you something. Everybody coming here in the Bahamas and believe that they have the same rights as us who've been here for 6, 7, 8 generations. I'm the 7th generation being here in the Bahamas. Let me tell you something. There's a time and place for everything. Whether you believe me or not, but you have people to believe what I'm saying. There's a time and place for everything. We don't need to give the Bahamas no black eye for no reason. The Bahamas, I ain't talking about me. They can't come to my house. I don't know. They can't come to my house. And you can't
caller,
what you want to do to my face. What I'm saying is,
caller,
I can hang up.
Caller, hold on. Before you hang up, let me ask you a question. Why do you believe that peaceful protest is a black eye? Why do you see it as a black eye for the country?
Not protesting in general, not protesting in general, not protesting.
Lincoln, bring up his audio for me, please. Bring up the volume, please. Go ahead, caller.
Turn up the volume. Yeah, I can't hear you too.
Go ahead, finish your point.
What I'm saying is this. If you have the international community here, and the Bahamas ain't doing as bad as everybody else in this region, why the hell you will let some 1 or 2 people that make the Bahamas, I'm talking about me and my folks, who calling, they don't have a home, they don't have a place. I talk about me and my place, the Bahamas. I love the Bahamas. I just come here, man. I don't dress with. What I'm saying is everybody have a time and place to do everything, man. That's all I'm saying, you know. That's all I'm saying. Please, man. This the Bahamas we talking about. The Bahamas is everybody's listening to your show, you know. Everybody is listening to your show, Miss Malcolm, and the US and everywhere else. You know that. Don't want to make the Bahamas seem like we shooting petty things, man. Petty things.
But I ask you again the question, caller. I'm asking you the question again. Why do you believe peaceful protest is a black eye for the country? Why do you believe that?
Because what they should do is do what Lincoln Day and then doing. Go to Parliament, raise your point there. We can do this thing in-house. In-house, Michelle, in-house. And everything you put on the road, if you was a married man or married woman, you was a married couple, why the hell you could be on the road telling your wife, oh, she don't wash dishes or she don't clean the house? Why the hell you could be out there telling your wife that? You could tell your wife that inside. You live in your home.
All right.
Oh, you don't clean.
You're entitled to your opinion. I can tell you.
You wash the dishes or plate. You want to play lady. You don't need to do that outside, Michelle. You could do it in your home.
I hear you. You're entitled to your opinion, but I tell you one thing: people go into town on you. They disagree vehemently with what you're saying, but you're entitled to your opinion. Thank you so much for calling. So Perlin is asking the question: how old is he? Sounds like a really old person with no sense. Mom, Perlin, don't say that. Everybody entitled to their opinion. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. Jason, did you change that? I'm not sure if you did, why you did. Let me go back to the single shot. Okay. I see where my guest is now here, but we have a caller on the line. So caller, welcome to GPS. Let's take this one more call and then we'll bring in my guest on the other side of the break. Caller, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michelle. Good afternoon. This is Christina Report. I have 3 points. The first one is that when they're talking about police and the way they're carrying on, one of their earlier callers said that they don't respect the Constitution.
Hold on, caller. Jason, can you bring up the volume, please? Okay, go ahead, caller. Talk now.
Yes. So I was saying that one of your callers said earlier that the police don't respect the Constitution. I was going to make mention that one of the reasons that perhaps they may not respect it is because they don't know it. When it comes to the police, it only takes 6 months for you to become a police to carry arms to actually be on the street. And I'm sorry to say that the average police officer, none of them, but a large number of even believe that they're not the brightest. And so that's why they carry on like that. That's the reason why they're not the ones that are actually going to recruit. So if there's any kind of chaos, they're gonna hype it up. They're gonna put the oil on the fire because they don't have the tactics to actually carry that out. That's 1. 2, when it comes to the fact that the gentleman who also called maybe about 3 callers before, he said that there's an issue with protest. Protest is what gets things done. I'm sorry. We can't compare ourselves to the other Caribbean countries because they're not on our level. Yes, it would be third world countries based on world standards, which I don't agree with, but we are not like them. And we cannot continue to let these things get pushed under the rug. We have to bring them to light. One of the injustices is that in the Bahamas, we say that we're democratic, but I'm sorry, when a government party comes into power, it's as if they act like they're dictators. They don't share information. They share information they choose to share, and it's very upsetting. I'm a young person, and I find it very difficult that we've already passed a Freedom of Information Act, and a lot of the money being spent, we can never find out what's going on with it. But they don't have a problem spending it on certain types of ministries, like for instance, Ministry of Tourism. I don't think that you need to advertise to Muhammad. We have so many stand and see. Why are you constantly spending money and you tend to actually perpetuate this false narrative that the black people are always serving the white people? When are we going to actually change that narrative? When are we going to start saying let's do it from the unionist point of view? Yeah, we go on the fish fry, but it's not just always from the the third or the white person's point of view. Let's say, okay, well, we're going to do it from the Bahamian. What do they like? Oh, we like to put a little bit of goat in our cob salad. We like to put a little bit of lemon on our fish. This is how we fry our fish, you know? You understand what I'm saying? So these are some of the issues that we have. And the last point I wanted to say was is that our older generation in regard to Bahamian, they are a bit lackadaisical, and they also have no problem taking bad treatment. But we have to change that mindset because we are worth way more. Nobody else should be coming into our country and doing way better than Bahamians, and Bahamians have to be living on the beach. Bahamians have to be doing the minimum, and they can't get riches in their own country. They have to live and die as paupers. No, Bahamians should be doing amazing in the Bahamas, not just foreigners. Thank you for taking my call, Michelle.
All right, thank you for calling. I see we had Professor Thompson on the line, but we lost his call. So I'm going to read one more comment, and then we're going to go to a break because we do have the guest that's finally tuned in. I'm getting word now that Professor Thompson is back. So let's take Professor Thompson's call. Professor.
Yes, Ms. Malcolm, how are you?
Hi, good, man. Well, how are you?
I'm enjoying the show. I was so delighted to see Bahamians rising up about their constitutional rights. You know, waited 50 years for this to happen. Now, here's what I would like to do for the Bahamian people. Now, you know, master class is on Monday. I would like, with your permission, to go through the entire Article 24 from top to bottom and explain in simple, basic, fundamental language so that the masses could understand whether the government is right or wrong, whether the police is right or wrong, whether the general public is right or wrong. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. No regulation from any local authority, whether it's from the Commissioner of Police or from the hotel or any other entity, could ever supersede the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We must get to understand that. No policy, no rule, Article 2 tells you it cannot supersede anything within that Constitution. Now,
So you're saying on Monday you want to skip forward to Article 24?
Right to Article 24 from top to bottom, every single aspect of Article 24.
Okay.
I will also look at the statute law. Statute law cannot supersede constitutional law because people are confused. I am so delighted that people are calling in. This is wonderful. I love this. But I can't do justice in 2 or 3 minutes. I got to take an entire show and go through specifically that article. That's why I wanted to call in and tell you that.
Okay.
The Bahamian people listen on Monday when we have the master.
All right. We'll skip ahead on Monday. We'll deal strictly with 24 because honestly, it's mega views now.
I am so delighted that people are calling in. They want to know who is right, who is wrong. Should we do it at this time? Some people are saying, oh no, don't do it at this time. What does your Constitution say? That's what's important. Not that people feel or how they may think it shouldn't go to today or tomorrow. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You got to stop talking foolishness and nonsense. But
All right.
Monday.
So Monday it is. We'll go straight to 24 on Monday.
Yes, ma'am. Article 24. Only Article 24 because I know you're going to have a lot of people listening in and they're going to call in, and that's fine. I got no problem with that. Let's go through that detail.
Okay.
Top to bottom. Every word, every sentence, every phrase, every comment in that article. Thank you very much, Ms.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Let me read a couple of comments and then we're going to take a break because my guest is finally here. So this one comment says, so if there is incest in the family, sweep it under the rug. After all, the rapist is providing you shelter and feeding you. You are doing much better than other people, so keep quiet. We have another comment on Facebook. This one is saying, tell that caller stop being an idiot. The government isn't listening to the people even when they do keep out our business out within country. The caller is probably a party supporter who doesn't want this government to look bad in the eyes of the world. This is why we aren't getting anywhere with the myriad of problems in this country. too many are willing to overlook the government's wrong once it is their party. So Shanika is saying, so we shouldn't be protesting because tourists are visiting either then? We have to fight for what we want in this country. As you can see, all these governments are doing for us is breaking our backs with taxes. And finally, let's see, Shanika says, Mr. Thompson, if I had the sense then that I have now, I would be teaching the Constitution myself to my people. Not knowing your rights could determine whether or not you should be free. And finally, one more before we take a break. Kentara Kelly says that caller is a cloaker talking about keeping in-house. Laugh out loud. That's why this nation is so corrupt. All right, we're going to take a break. My guest was supposed to be here from 2 o'clock here, I throw in shade, has finally logged in. So let's spend the last half hour or the last portion of the show talking about what we had planned to talk about had they showed up earlier. And it's still related to Caricom, but coming from a completely different direction. So we're going to take this break and then we'll be back after these messages. Stay with us.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy, with mailboat to U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
All right, welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company today, coming from home today, because the traffic out there was maddening, and I wasn't about to get caught up in traffic trying to get to the station, so I thought it would be wise to do the show from home today. The telephone numbers to call, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line is 8010271. And of course, we are streaming live on Facebook on the official Global 99.5 FM Facebook page and the official Michelle Malcolm Facebook page. All right. So my guest, let's bring him into the studio. Now, his camera's off, and I'm hoping that, okay, it's back. It's on now. My guest is representing the Rastafarian community here in the Bahamas. And, we all know that the hot topic issues that were being discussed or are to be discussed at this meeting include illegal immigration, particularly from Haiti, and the turmoil in Haiti, as well as climate change. But this particular grouping, this special interest group, the Rastafarian community, would like another issue added to those of matters of interest for the region, and that has to do with reparations. I want to welcome to the show Rasta Mickey Bow. He's no stranger to GPS. He's been on the show before. And the Rastafarian community has been reaching out to Caricom for some time, trying to get some attention paid to this matter. And you guys figure this is the opportune time. This ain't no time to sweep nothing under the rug. But now that all of these people here, this is the time to have to do. Welcome back to the show.
Well, first of all, let me apologize. Today was today was a very crazy day, especially with us going down there at Bahama and getting caught up. So with traffic and everything, it cost us a little bit. So I do apologize. It was not our intention. So you guys were going to be a part of that protest as well? Well, no. See, it's a difference. We wasn't trying to be a part of the we are Bahamians, first of all. So we understand what's going on. But we went down there to voice our concern. Lincoln Bain and the COI has their issue, and we have ours, and we both see it as the opportune time to put it out there. But it turned out that with us all being Bahamians, what happened out there was a tragedy to all of us as Bahamians. So it switched the whole narrative of the day, and we know that this happens a lot, and sometimes I don't know if people could take it. I see a lot of the comments, but I'll tell y'all one thing, could always come out of evil. Because if we'd just did allow it to go on a protest and we stand there, we would never got the media coverage, the international media coverage that the police officers them allowed us to have and allowed Lincoln them to have today. The situation would have been a quiet, because nobody went out there. I don't think nobody went out there with violence or anything negative in mind. But because of the reaction of the law enforcement and the government today, it gives us a way that it's going to be highlighted. And trust me, it's going to be highlighted all over the Caribbean and in the international press and media. So they more or less bring a lot of the issues them to play that they was trying to sweep under this rug. So out of every bad situation, you could find the good that came out of it. And with us, we see that we always have a problem. Until we get our problem solved, we'll never stop fighting for our rights. And reparatory justice is not just something for the Rastafarians, but it's something for the whole of the diaspora, all of us. who have suffered injustice through the slave trade and going on. So what we right now, we not looking, and first of all, when people hear reparation, the first thing they think about is money. Reparation is not just money, it's internal justice and external. You need reparation for your internal and your external. I want you all to believe that us as a people, we are damaged. We may seem normal and everything, but if you tell me what we suffered and had to go through for years, hundreds of years, that plays on a person's psyche, and now we are at the situation that we are right now where we can't forgive our brothers. Violence happens so easy in our community and we wonder why. We just think it's us. It isn't us. I'll even say even to our diet that we eat, it's affecting us. And when I say people think vegetarian, no, let's look at it. We have a high salt diet and they have a salt medication right now that will help the whites. And it's like 98% effective on a Caucasian. For the people of our diaspora, is 68%. And for the Africans at home, it's the same 98% as it is for the whites. So it shows you that because of our diet, the poor diet that we've been so used to, it's even affecting us. So when we look for reparatory justice, we look for what it is called, a justice in every aspect. Our schooling, our education, our healthcare, all of this is concerned. So we're not just looking just for the money of it. We're looking for the full, but you must pay. People think that we say, okay, money must be, but that must not be the only thing. I had a person ask me, but Crown Land, I said, the Crown, if it was Crown Land, why it named Crown? It should be our land, eh? So we do ask for justice in the fact that we need to free up this land to the people. So if you think about it, a lot of the things that the coalition fights for, we did. But what we did was, in the diaspora, the Rastafarian community of the whole diaspora came together in the last 6 weeks. We put together a document that we actually tabled and sent to Caricom for this sitting on reparatory justice. And like Ms. Malcolm said, when they set up the reparations committee in 2013, the Bahamas joined on, and we had, so even countries around, and this is the funny thing. Leaders in the Caricom want reparations from the UK, America, France. Why France? Because of Haiti. Haiti must have reparation. And if Haiti was to get their reparation, we wouldn't have the problem right here in the Bahamas that we have with the Haitians. So we got to look at a way that we could solve the Haitian. And I don't care what we say. If we don't do something to solve the Haitian problem, it will always be our problem. Because the first place they come to is us. So we have to be able to, and not just say the Haitian problem, notice that they are our brothers and our sisters. To see, we having stuff going on in our country, God forbid, something happening, we have to run to somewhere. But we always think that because our dollars are 1-to-1 to America, it could never happen to us. But we sliding on a slippery slope right now with the injustice of our constitutional rights being stepped on right now. Everything doesn't happen overnight. It slips and slips and they take away rights and slowly rights until we end up in a situation like Haiti. See, so we can't just look at, we have to find a way. Personally, for me, I always said that like America, America is the United States of America. They are a bunch, 52 states come together to make one country. I asked, why can't we have the United States of the Caribbean? And we all come together. And that's the way we can help each other. We have to be our brother's keeper. We have to. And until we can see that, and through reparation, we can do this. This is what it is to get, when we all can stand firm, and we talk about the sovereign wealth fund and all of these things, and all of that is a part of our reparation that we, instead of going out and just protesting to the government, to our government in the front of the international world, we sat back as a Rastafarian community and we wrote, black and white gets places. And I want Bahamian people to remember that. Right. If you have a problem with your minister or something, don't come on social media and talk about it. Write to them. Write a letter. Black and white works. And we, the Rastafarian community, we don't fight in every quadrant. We have so many different ways. So believe me when I tell you all, black and white is the way to go. So what we did, that's why we came together as a diaspora community of Rastafarians. Because the same atrocities that happened to me here in the Bahamas happened to them in St. Lucia, you know, and I'll tell you all something. In 2015, we wrote the CRO, the Caribbean Rastafarian Organization, who we are a part of, wrote a 10-point plan for Caricom. And out of that 10, they took 4. And now, right now, that is 4 that's on the Caricom's reparations plan. So don't say that we cannot do it. It's just ways to do it. And sometimes, yes, you need an activist to go out on the street, but you also need that legal mind who can put those documents together to allow you to be able to do these things. Because that's when you write a letter and you CC all the leaders of Caricom on that, the Secretary General, everybody in Caricom, they see it, they get it. They can't play like they haven't seen it. Anybody could play like they didn't see what happened today, or they didn't know what today's issue was about. But when you put it in a document, it's hard for them to deny it. Making sense, Ms. Malcolm?
I hear what you're saying. Now, Ross, I need you to do me a favor. The sunlight is behind you, and every time you move, so you might want to turn around so that the sun is in front of you, so we don't get that glaring light that's distracting. You're making a lot of sense. So what is it that you guys are hoping that will come out of your agitation for this meeting over the next several days? Because you've already submitted a paper. From what you're telling us, there was some action taken on some of the recommendations that you made. How would you like to up the ante and get even more of a reaction from our CARICOM leaders? Now, I see where your camera went black.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I pulled up a document on my phone. I didn't know my camera would have gone
Oh,
off.
okay.
I pulled the document
So
up on
what
my
more
phone.
would you guys like to see happen?
Well, along with that, we have certain things that's happening right now in the diaspora with the cannabis justice. So we are looking for our sacramental rights, and not just for us. We see that in our justice, we do see where the government is, all the governments around the Caribbean is really playing this against the people for the monetary value of it, and not actually respecting the Rastafarians, our sacrament, or the atrocities that we have faced, not just us, a lot of the brothers, because it's hard to say that cannabis is bad today, and in the next week you go to Parliament, make it a law, and then it become good, then the government then benefit off it, or a few of their best friends become like the numbers, where it's a small group and they'll only have those, and then us who've been through the atrocities for it, a lot of kids who can't go to college just because they have a charge of one spliff on their record. Where's the justice for them? So we look for that repertory justice even in the cannabis, and seeing that you're doing it now, and certain things you're working on now, so you could start giving them to us now. We ask for them to, in our papers, to look at the Antigua and Barbuda model. And we have the Minister Gaston Brown here to this sitting from the president, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, who went as far as not just giving us sacramental rights, giving us legalization rights. He also apologized to the Rastafarians and the other side who were victims of this unjust law. So we just ask our government to do the same thing. We don't expect them to give us money. You know, we are behemoths. So remember the taxes. If we ask them for $100 million, my kid's gonna have to pay some of that. My wife, all of us gonna have to pay that. So we know better than that. But we want to feel whole. You know, and an apology, a heartfelt apology, is simple, and to give us our constitutional rights. You know, I heard Mr. Thompson's going to be on the 24th, and the thing is, as in the Rastafarian community, we teach them. That's something that we teach all kids. Your constitutional rights is something, and you will hear most in the Bobo Shanti faith. You always say the Bobo Shantis, we always teach that because you must know your rights here upon the face of the earth. And that's why I think we have some problem with the law enforcement, because we go there fight to get our rights, and we go with our constitutional rights, and then we get them trampled on. But it doesn't stop that we know what our real rights are. And I think that bothers a lot of them. I heard a caller say that they don't know a lot of them don't know the constitutional rights. Yeah. They don't know the Constitution. And it sounds funny when you, a Rasta, telling them what they should be doing, and they don't take to, oh man, I be just being through it today. They don't take to that kindly at all. Because we shouldn't know, or we shouldn't be bold enough to tell them that we know and we want our rights. So with the sitting this time now, is certain things, the freedom of land, that's something we could deal with. These things we could have right now. If our prime minister was really wanted to do certain things, it's things he could do right now today. We shouldn't have to go to Caricom for them. He could do them tomorrow when he go to Parliament. He could give us a land. They know how many acres of land we have here in the country. They got the census. They know all of these numbers, how many people over 18 working. They know everything they need to know to start to go ahead and do these things if they really want to do it. But I think really is the fact that we just like to see our brothers down and I over my brother. I never want to see him equal with me. But we'd all say these things. And that's something we're going to fight for. As a Rasta, we all equal. None higher than the next. The priest and the prophet are all still the same. We all just doing the work. So that's what we ask for in this time, just to recognize, and especially the most important thing, and it's funny, but most people don't know, even though we as Rastafarians, we live a culture, we don't live a religion. And our culture is the way we live, the way we eat, sleep, speak, our hair, the way we dress, the way we approach things, our whole society, how we live in a commune, that's our culture. But they see us as a religion. I pick up my daughter's 4th grade social study book, and they have all the religions of the Bahamas: Rastafarian, Anglican, Baptist, Catholic. They all named down in the book. But on paper, the government don't recognize us as a faith. So when they don't recognize us as a faith, they don't have to give us our constitutional rights. But in every other aspect, they recognize us as a faith. So it's like a catch-22. Are we going to do this or are we not going to do it? That's one of the things we ask for around the Caribbean, because it happened in Jamaica. And it's funny, where Rastafarian, our faith started. All over the Caribbean, they've done it. They use it to bring in tourists, but they wouldn't legally put it down so that your rights could be respected and protected. So, and that's something we will never stop agitating for until we get. And that's one of our 7-point plans, definitely for this week. And we must have that. And that's something that every leader, they could do that today, right at Caricom. They all decide to just do it. And this is something they need to go back to the law books or anything. All they have to do is just do it. Certain things we asking for is not things that they have to go change a law to do or anything else. They just need to allow it to happen. Especially for us, land security. Remember when we were growing up, they used to tell you talk is cheap, money buy land. That means even if you have money, if you don't have any land, you still can't speak. And we have thousands, millions of acres here. They'll give it to all the foreign investors. What's supposed to be ours, they say it's ours, but we can't access it, but they could give it out to foreign investors. It doesn't make any sense.
Wow, it's a pity that you weren't able to get on until as late as you did, because I would have loved to get deeper into this conversation with you, but time gone. We only got a minute left in the show, and I got to wrap things up.
I do apologize, Ms. Marika.
Yeah, no, trust me, I know today was crazy. That, like I said, that's why I ended up doing the show from home, because of all of the madness that was happening out there with regard to the road closures and, roadblocks, etc. Yeah. So we gotta arrange to have you guys on sometime in the future so we can get
anytime, definitely.
All right, but thank you so much for coming on when you did.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
All
You're
right.
welcome, Miss Michael.
So that's my time, guys. Got to get out of here. I want to thank Rostam, Mickey Bo, and Mikey Bo, sorry, and all of you who, Mickey Bo, and all of you who tuned in, called in, sent messages, texted, whatever. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. At 4 o'clock, I got to get off of there. Until tomorrow, I'm Michelle Malcolm. We're going to be talking about food security and new technology in agriculture tomorrow. There's some innovative young Bahamians who are going to be on the show. You don't want to miss that show. Until then, thanks you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.